The hit TV series Blue Bloods first aired 12 years ago in 2010 and has since been a fan favorite. And the series' storyline is fairly basic. It's a story that revolves around a family of New York cops. Critics have said that Blue Bloods is an interesting take on the police drama genre. So stay tuned and don't go away, because we're about to take you behind the scenes of Blue Bloods and show you what it really looks like. First up, who are the main characters of the show, and how do they push the story forward? Let's take a look. At its core, Blue Bloods is a police drama that centers around a family whose members all currently serve or have served in law enforcement in some capacity. New York Police Commissioner Frank Reagan is the main character, who's played by veteran TV and film actor Tom Selleck. Frank's father, Henry Reagan, played by actor Len Carew, is a retired police commissioner. Frank's oldest son, Danny, played by actor Donnie Wahlberg, is a competent detective, and his other son, Jamie, played by actor Will Estes, is a police officer with the NYPD, while his daughter, Erin, played by actor Bridget Moynihan, is the assistant district attorney. Although the show doesn't have a ton of social media buzz, Blue Bloods has had consistently crazy ratings throughout its 12-year run. For instance, during the 2015-16 season, it was ranked the 10th most viewed show on American television, and it's the 4th highest rated drama series on TV. And in January of 2013, Blue Bloods set a record as the first scripted Friday night TV show to average 13 million views in 10 years. That's a pretty impressive track record. Next up, how does Blue Bloods nail the show's authenticity? Let's take a look. Blue Bloods has a former NYPD detective on its payroll, and his name is James Nusiforo. James will typically review the scripts before they're used in filming, and because he's an experienced police officer, his job is to make sure that the fictional stories told in the show are as close to real-life police experiences as possible. In a recent interview, James said, "Let's say they get a 56-page script. I'll give them anywhere between 5 to 10 pages of notes on the script, just plugging in dialogue with more jargon." As a result of the show being so authentic, it's no surprise then that plenty of police officers are big fans of the show. One scene of the show in particular that fans have grown to love is the Sunday dinner scene. The Blue Bloods dinner scene always takes place at Commissioner Frank Reagan's home. During the Sunday dinners, the family usually discusses various moral and career issues. The dinner scenes are filmed in a modified CBS studio, but the house's exterior shots are captured from a real home in Brooklyn, New York. In real life, however, Commissioner Reagan's house is owned by Maronites, who are Middle Eastern Catholics. The home is located at 8070 Harborview Terrace in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and despite not being open to visitors, you can easily catch a glimpse of it if you're passing by. Up next, did you know that Tom Selleck was the original Thomas Magnum from Magnum P.I.? You bet. There's currently a Magnum P.I. reboot airing on CBS that stars Jay Hernandez, but the original show from the 1980s starred Tom Selleck. Magnum P.I. follows Thomas Magnum, a former Marine who takes a job as a private investigator in Hawaii. Magnum P.I. is in the same universe as Hawaii Five-0. The original show ran for 8 seasons, and it's where Tom Selleck made his mark as an actor and achieved fame and notoriety to boot. Another thing that many fans may not realize is that Danny Reagan's sons are brothers in real life. In Blue Bloods, Detective Danny Reagan, the eldest son of Commissioner Frank Reagan, has 2 sons named Sean and Jack. The 2 are actually brothers in real life. Jack is played by actor Tony Terracciano, and the younger Sean is played by his brother, actor Andrew Terracciano. And their age difference in real life is the same as in the show. Both brothers initially started out as child models, but eventually caught the acting bug and made the move into acting. They landed roles as Danny's sons when they were 8 and 6 years old. Although they have no other siblings on the show, in real life, Andrew has a twin sister named Molly. Another thing that fans may have been unaware of is that Danny is played by a former member of a pop band. The New Kids on the Block may not be familiar to you depending on when you were born. However, the American boy band from Dorchester, Massachusetts blew up in the 80s and 90s and was a huge hit amongst teenagers and young adults. Essentially, the New Kids on the Block were the One Direction of that era. In total, the band sold more than 80 million records worldwide. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're revealing all of the behind-the-scenes details of the hit series Blue Bloods that you might not know. You do not want to miss this. Next up, how did Donnie Wahlberg rise to superstardom? Well, you're about to find out. After leaving New Kids on the Block, Donnie went on to have a great career in film. He appeared in films such as Zookeeper, The Sixth Sense, and The Saw franchise. But part of the reason why the Blue Bloods series is so good is that the creators of the series worked on the mega hit show The Sopranos, starring the late James Gandolfini. One of the creators of Blue Bloods was even the personal receptionist to legendary Marvel founder and icon Stan Lee at one point. Blue Bloods was actually created by a married couple named Michelle Burgess and Robin Green, with Green being Stan Lee's former receptionist. A closer look at Burgess and Green reveals a very interesting job history. The couple has written episodes for TV shows such as Almost Grown, Northern Exposure, and Party of Five. Then the couple met with The Sopranos creator David Chase, who they'd worked on previously. Chase hired the couple to write for the ultra-popular mob TV show, but disagreements ensued, and there was a falling out. Chase said that the couple didn't understand the characters, so he fired them. It's not at all uncommon in creative industries for people to butt heads. Sometimes it just happens. Nonetheless, the couple ended up being highly successful. Up next, can you imagine Tom Selleck without his signature mustache? Tom Selleck nearly shaved off his mustache for Blue Bloods. While playing the character Thomas Magnum, Selleck was known for his dark mustache, and it became his trademark ever since. Selleck's mustache gave him a more macho appearance. However, during the production phase of the first season of Blue Bloods, producers wanted Tom to shave off the mustache because they felt he was a little too old for it. CBS executives, though, felt differently and argued that the mustache looked really good on Selleck, so they let him keep it. It seems like it was a good move in the end. Commissioner Reagan without a mustache wouldn't look nearly as intimidating. Something else that you may have been unaware of is that the filming of Blue Bloods was almost moved to Toronto. As you probably know now, a number of TV shows aren't actually filmed in the cities or towns where the story is based, and that nearly happened for Blue Bloods. Even though the show is about New York City, it was almost filmed in Toronto. In fact, it's not at all uncommon for shows or films set in New York to be shot in Toronto. Once you switch the cabs and police vehicles, it's pretty easy to fool audiences. Production companies will often do this so they can save money, because, as you can imagine, shooting in New York can be quite expensive, and Toronto's always been the more affordable alternative. Due to the massive city and state taxes in New York, producers were afraid the budget would be too high. But after the production company struck a deal with the state governments, Blue Bloods was allowed to be filmed in New York. Finally, what happens to the food in the show's iconic dinner scenes after filming is done? Let's take a look. A ton of food is usually used in the iconic dinner table scenes, and some actors like Donnie Wahlberg know how to not waste food, so they actually eat it. When asked about the dinner scenes, Wahlberg said, "It's dinner, right? I gotta eat." Selleck doesn't care for the dinner scenes as much as Donnie, and in an interview with People magazine, he said, "It's nice to spend time with the entire cast once an episode, but filming an eating scene is miserable. Well, the eating part is at least. You have to eat the same foods over and over again to get all the shots. We'll probably spend 8 hours shooting this scene." Another thing that fans have wondered about is whatever happened to Detective Jackie Curatola. In the earlier seasons, there was a character known as Detective Jackie Curatola, who was played by actor Jennifer Esposito. Esposito was a recurring member of the cast, but during the filming of season 3, she collapsed on set. Esposito's doctor recommended sick leave, which she did utilize, but CBS executives felt she was deliberately dodging work, and after she asked for light duty, CBS abruptly fired her. CBS issued a statement that read, "Jennifer has informed us that she's only available to work on a very limited part-time schedule, and as a result, she's unable to perform the demands of her role." Esposito responded via Twitter, saying, "CBS got rid of the only minority cast member so they can have an all-white cast like CSI." That's a wrap for today's video, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.